Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You know, it's been a pretty gosh darn good day in the news if you're an XRP holder. In my very last video, I highlighted that Judge Torres ended up granting applications for amicus briefs from two companies, separate from Ripple. One of them happens to be a Ripple customer, the other completely unrelated, but in support of Ripple's motion for summary judgment. And we also have this headline, all in the same day. What more could you ask? Look at this. This is from Ripple's actual website. This is a press release. And they titled this, Ripple Continues European Expansion, Bringing the Benefits of On-Demand Liquidity to France and Sweden. So, effectively, the empire that is XRP continues to expand. Again, I've said many times, and I do still firmly believe this, that it only takes one use case for a cryptocurrency to have long-term viability. If adopted, cryptocurrency can have long-term viability with just one use case. Now, XRP has many more than a single use case, but it is good to see this. And it's one of these things where it's just like it's vindication for anybody that's been following what Ripple's been doing and arguing for the utility of XRP as a bridge currency for any reasonable period of time. It's been crystal clear that there's real solutions right here. And you get the Bitcoin maxi types and some of the haters, most of them probably don't know what the hell they're talking about, saying, no, this is what XRP plug in that, and we're going to use the stablecoin for so-and-so reason. And it doesn't work because you're never going to have one single platform that everybody goes to with every market pair available with deep liquidity. Like, it's just not going to happen. And so you need to be able to bridge all this stuff together. And what we're finding here is that Ripple's customers recognize the actual utility. It's cheaper, it's faster, it presents opportunities to do business outside of regular business hours. All of this stuff here. And in this, and I'll highlight this as we go through the video, I want to share with you comments from a couple of the executives at these firms articulating the reasons why. It's so nice. And by the way, I don't know how many customers Ripple has ever paid to do business with them and in terms of adopting on-demand liquidity. I don't get the sense that they're doing that anymore, and I don't have any special information. I don't pretend to. But if you look at, for instance, iRemit, one of their customers, we know thanks to the amicus brief that they filed, actually, they stated publicly, and there's legal consequences that they were lying because they sent this to the Judge Torres. They stated that they have not been paid anything to utilize XRP as a bridge currency. They did it because it provides a solution, and they're concerned about the impact of the SEC v. Ripple case. So I understand that there was some sort of kickback thing going on with MoneyGram, and I don't have a problem with that because if you're starting talking about bootstrapping an ecosystem, like I legitimately have no problem with that. As I highlighted in a video recently, Visa did the same thing, MasterCard did the same thing. When you're starting an economy from scratch, ecosystem from scratch rather, doing stuff like that is pretty darn commonplace. But I don't even know that Ripple's doing that anymore. I think that it's pretty clear that people are just moving that direction anyway. But before sharing with you additional thoughts and getting into the specifics, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so I actually printed up this bad boy right here, so I got some dead trees up on my little Moon Lambo fingertips here. Highlighted several parts that I found to be most interesting here, and I want to run through this. So it begins as follows. This is, there we go. Today, Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, announced its first on-demand liquidity customer in France as it joins forces with Lemonway, a Paris-based payments provider for online marketplaces. Yeah, that's a funny name. It's a little whimsical. I like it. The new partnership sees Lemonway using RippleNet's on-demand liquidity, which leverages XRP for crypto-enabled payments to enhance its treasury payments processes. Now, Ripple's new partnership with Lemonway comes at a time when France has been showing itself to be forward-thinking when it comes to embracing the potential of crypto technology. Yeah, I'll pause to point out, it's particularly disappointing to see now that the most dominant corridors for on-demand liquidity were touching the United States just 2 years ago, and now none of them are. On-demand liquidity touching the United States is not a thing. It does not exist anymore because of the asshat pricks at the SEC. Now, I still think that comes back. Of course, once all the legal nonsense is settled, it comes back. But it's nice to see, despite that other geographic regions, for them, it's just a no-brainer. in terms of utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. There's all sorts of people that are forward thinking, and then there'll always be the technological laggards that, if you look at a technology bell curve, you know what I'm talking about here. There's always people that come late to the party to adopt technology, but these firms, my gosh, they're going to have a substantial opportunity to take market share from their competitors because that's the opportunity that XRP creates, being plugged into on-demand liquidity. Anyway, and then piece continues. In partnering with Ripple, Lemonway is able to drive operational efficiencies by eliminating the need for Lemonway to pre-fund accounts abroad, giving them the opportunity to use previously trapped pre-funded capital to grow and scale their business. But folks, let me just pause there. I thought that the pre-fund thing, that wasn't supposed to be real. The pre-funded trapped liquidity, that's not a real thing. Didn't Forbes report that? What was that woman's name? Frances Coppola, I believe. She wrote an entire article talking about how that was a bunch of nonsense. Although, what's funny is, even if that were true, that doesn't negate the fact that utilizing XRP as a bridge currency means you can transfer funds 24/7, 365, settling with finality, and that it's way cheaper. So even if that were true, I'm just saying here. Anyway, piece continues. Ripple has also announced a second new on-demand liquidity customer, its first in Sweden. Swedish money transfer provider XBot enables money movement between Sweden and Thailand. XBot's new partnership with Ripple sees the company offering instant and cost-effective retail remittances via on-demand liquidity, supported by Tranglo, the cross-border payment hub based in Singapore. Now, this next part is what I find to be most interesting. And so this is actually a quote from the chief operating officer, the COO of Lemonway, the brand new on-demand liquidity customer of Ripple's. And check this out. By using Ripple's on-demand liquidity to underpin Lemonway's treasury operations, we are looking forward to bringing significant benefits to our business, which we can in turn pass on to our clients. So I'll just pause and note something here. And this is an interesting concept here. And this is really true of just business in general. When there's a new technology that's adopted, and say you're at the forefront of adopting this technology, if it results in tremendous margins, there's a couple things that you can do. You could either keep the status quo and pad your margins, all that money goes to you, the business, or you could maybe cut your, whatever you're charging your customers a little bit, just to kind of take a little bit of market share from some of your competitors out there and still have tremendously padded margins because you're an early adopter and they don't know what the hell you're doing necessarily. Or what you could do is go basically guns a-blazing and have outrageously immediately reduced costs if you're purely in growth mode and just kind of go from there. And this is commonplace when you're talking about the adoption of technology just in general. It's just the case when you're talking about brand new market opportunities. So what typically happens in situations like this is you'll kind of get a blend. And so some firms will just pad their margins. But you know what happens? Even if you're the type of business that just wants to pad your margins, or even if you're not interested in tremendous growth, maybe you're not that ambitious right now and you're happy with your customer base, you just want to pad your margins because they don't know how the plumbing works anyway. Even if that's the case, eventually, as technology continually gets adopted, you know what happens, right? Well, eventually other firms in your region, they'll start to offer lower prices. And then that results in this race to the bottom, effectively, in terms of margin. So eventually you get this stabilizing price because it's always going to cost so much to run a business. You're always going to have your staff and whatever your expenses are. Maybe it's marketing, this or that. And so there's basically a floor, not an artificial floor, but just market floor to what something can cost, will end up costing here. And so you do end up having that additional pressure over time. And so that's why I've always said for the longest time that what Ripple is doing in enabling XRP as a bridge currency, it's a force for good because it will ultimately, even if not immediately, help some of the poorest people on the planet. Because eventually, all of the firms that are adopting this are going to have, if it's globally adopted, truly globally adopted on an enormous scale, well, you're all living in the same world. You're all competing with the same technology at that point. And so eventually the people, if you want to pad your margins, and there's nothing unethical about that, but if you're going to do that, I'm just saying, eventually market forces are going to come to you and you're going to have to bring that down at some point. And so it's all part of the plan. But see, that's why I keep saying, when I see all these bogus critiques from the Bitcoin maxis out there, I'm like, you're attacking a technology that will help some of the poorest people on the entire planet. And if you could just in the snap of a finger make it cease to exist, you little Bitcoin maxi troll bitch, you would. And that's unfortunate. The rest of the quote from the COO of Lemonway reads as follows. Ripple's solution allows us greater flexibility around when we can make payments to our partners. releasing us from the traditional banking cutoff cycle and driving operational efficiencies, which will allow us to free up funds to invest into our business while enhancing our customer offering. And that's from Jeremy Ricordo, if I'm saying that right, Chief Operating Officer. So it's not just that there are savings to be had. If you can facilitate transactions 24/7, 365, might you have a competitive edge there too? Might you be able to increase your market share at an impressive rate as a result? I think the answer is yes. And then there's also this from the CEO of XBot. XBot was founded to build a money transfer service for Thai people living in Sweden. Like Ripple, we believe that international payments should be quick and seamless. This is why we're excited to establish our new partnership to streamline the process for our customers sending remittances between the two countries, making the process faster and more reliable and lowering the cost. And that's from Michael Anderson, CEO XBot. It's always nice to see what these people have to say. And that's why it was so fun, too, reading through IREMET's amicus brief. Because, gosh, I mean, we only get to see so many surface-level comments from Ripple on-demand liquidity customers, but to see something filed to a judge, that just carries extra weight. We're like, yeah, they ain't kidding around. They're sending this to a freaking judge. They're not just making this stuff up. XRP is genuinely useful. And what do you think happens as time passes, as the crypto asset class gets even bigger and XRP increasingly becomes adopted and more people speculate, I think they will anyway, based on actual utility? What do you think that means for the price of XRP over the long haul? Which is why it's just like, to me, XRP empire expands. Not solely because of Ripple, but Ripple's a player in the ecosystem for XRP. And so my view is always that the more participants providing utility to XRP within the ecosystem, the more certain it is that XRP is going to be here for the long haul. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.